Welcome to Bible/Chat, Gus.
Hi, John.
We have a new office and new books. Our office is currently being leased for free by someone where we normally record our video.
CR.
To protect the innocent, we'll just call him Caleb. I'm sorry.
No, it's CR.
CR. Yeah, good. Anyway, we have a question for you today, Gus.
You don't have the pep that you usually have.
I normally do. I'm a little tired today.
Why?
I don't know. It's just the wear and tear.
Yeah. 6 girls.
6 girls. I'm exhausted all the time. Okay, so here's our question that we have. That's the difference between God ordaining something and God actually doing that thing. So like we talked on Sunday about God's sovereignty, and we talked about God's ordaining of things in the world, that God ordains everything that exists in the world, that God has a decorative will. And yet we said God doesn't do evil. Like those two things have to come together somewhere, right? So what is the difference between God ordaining and God doing? Help us understand. Blame James.
Wow, like we just, I thought maybe I should be asking you that question.
There's no intro.
Yeah. Thank you for watching us.
Welcome to the jungle. We got 10 minutes. Get it done.
Okay, so what is this between God's ordaining
and
it's funny, when you were talking, I was thinking, who's going to answer this question? Oh, it's me.
Sorry, it's you. Yeah,
it's a me teacher.
You're up. Is it me? Is it me?
Awesome. I guess it is. Okay. So you're talking about the difference between the declaration.
Well, no. God's ordaining of something. Like he ordains evil to exist. Yeah. We know that, right? He ordained, for example. I mean, even like we can. Like,
so we're talking about first cause.
First and second
causes.
So how can we say God ordained something, but he didn't do it?
Yeah, so we can explain it the way, probably, but talking about first cause and second cause. Okay. Right? So God is the first cause of everything. He ordains everything.
Yeah.
He ordained, let's talk about Genesis 3. He ordained that man was going to fall.
Yeah, good.
Yet at the same time, it was man's responsibility that he disobeyed God.
Yeah.
And that he obeyed Satan instead. Like the question usually comes up, then God did cause evil, and we would say no, he didn't cause evil in the sense of he didn't make the man eat the fruit.
He didn't do the evil,
but he did ordain it.
He is ultimately the first cause of
evil. He planned it. This way. Now the question is that people have is why? Why did that happen? And aside from saying we don't know, the only step we can take at it is for the praise of his glory.
Yeah,
right? We know that it is what Ephesians 1 talks about, right? Is the glory of God. We don't understand. Yeah. We don't know how God can ordain, the Babylonian captivity.
Right. Totally.
How can he ordain Pharaoh's heart, right? How can he ordain all these things, and yet it is for that purpose that God says that he hardened Pharaoh's heart, so to show actually his goodness, or his kindness, or his saving power, his wrath. And you're thinking, what?
Yeah.
How did that work?
So the why is where we can answer it. Like God did it to show his glory.
Yeah.
The how is a question that is hard to understand.
Well,
or maybe we would say even impossible.
Well, it's hard to understand because that's not how you and I think.
Yeah. If you ordain something, you also do it.
Yeah. Like we our penal system would prosecute someone for being the mastermind of something, right?
Totally. Yeah, you hire a hitman.
Yeah, so maybe you didn't hire the hitman, but you hired the guy who hired the guy who hired the hitman.
Yeah.
And you're like, but you still
did it. Yeah.
So you still have some, like, you're still responsible for this. But when it comes to God, it's not so, because he says that in the word, right?
Yeah.
He says in the word that he doesn't tempt anyone.
Yeah. James 1, 13, 14.
And he doesn't cause anyone to sin.
Yeah.
At the same time, in the Old Testament, he says that he causes all calamity.
Yeah, totally.
So,
and in the New Testament, because Acts 2:23, which we're covering this week,
yes.
by the predetermined plan and foreknowledge of God, Jesus was put to death.
So, and I don't want to theorize more, but I do think that sometimes we spend more time trying to defend God than God spends defending himself.
Yeah.
So we would try to say, no, see, that doesn't mean that. That means something else.
Yeah.
You don't understand. Truthfully, we don't understand.
Yeah.
None of us understand.
No one's going to understand that.
And we do know that God does cause these things.
Yeah.
He is the first cause for everything.
Yeah.
And yet at the same time, the word of God says that his hands are clean.
Yeah, they're clean. Yeah.
He's holy.
Yeah.
And he can't
because responsibility rests on the individual who's doing the action.
Exactly.
So at the same time, like even the recent conflict with Hamas and Israel. Right?
Yes.
Hamas invades Israel,
which means violence.
Yeah, it means violence, by the way. Yeah, and Arabic. so you have Hamas invading Israel. They go in to invade. They are killing people, committing atrocities. God is sovereignly ordaining those events to take place.
He's not just allowing it.
Yeah, he's planned it. He's ordained it.
Yes,
he's the first cause of those things, and yet those individual fighters are responsible
100%
for the choices they're making.
Yes.
And those two things live concurrently.
Yeah.
And the reason he's allowing those things to come together like that, where we can't bring those two ideas together, but where he's coming together, the reason he allows those things to come together is because for his glory ultimately. Yeah.
Yes, and it makes no sense.
Yeah.
To a puny brain like mine, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, well, Paul says it doesn't make sense, so it's not just your brain.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But I much rather live in a world where God is sovereign over everything, over every atom, an electron, and neutron. You know more about that than me. I'd much rather be than live in a world where God is like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh shoot! I wish I could. I wish I could do this. Oh no!
Yeah, hopefully we can get the toothpaste back in the tube.
Yeah, exactly. You can't.
Yeah. So that idea. So in that sense, then what we're saying, it isn't just that we would rather live in a world where God's sovereign, but that is the world that God paints for us in the Bible.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So
what I meant by I rather live in a world is I find comfort to know that God has planned.
Yeah.
And that nothing that is happening in this world. Today, like we were driving with our boys to school, and unbeknownst to me, the freeway entrance at Boso is the worst thing ever, right? It's
challenging.
Is that on ramp is the worst thing ever, and this 18-wheeler boxed me in. I was gonna hit the wall.
Yeah.
And I had to hit the brakes like I never had. In fact, Cohen said to me, "You never hit the brakes." Thank you. Yeah.
You're a safe driver.
Yeah, I'm a very good driver. No, I mean, and it was really interesting because I think that could have gone somewhere else, right?
Totally.
And I was thinking about it. I didn't say it to the boys then, but I was thinking about it when I was driving back from school. I was thinking, that's God's sovereignty.
Yeah, totally.
And it's incredible to know that He actually planned this.
Yeah.
From eternity past, and that in His divine mind, He planned this.
Yeah.
This wasn't like.
And if the 18-wheeler had crushed you, that was also His sovereignty.
Of course.
Yeah. So all of it is working
is
together.
Incredible.
And that's where we can go to a verse like Romans 8:28, where it says God causes all things, and you have that causality language. He causes all things to work together for good.
Yeah, but we don't use that verse as the trump card, saying I don't understand this, so here it is.
Yeah, no.
And we use it as the pillow we sleep in at night,
totally.
Knowing that anything that happens in our life that we can't explain. There's plenty of things in my life that I can in the past, hope in the future, I imagine that I won't be able to explain, and it is God who causes all these things. For our good, which is crazy to think about that, because you would think, well, it's for God's good, but it is for our good too.
Good. And that is where our good is connected so inextricably with the glory of God, right? Like God is when God is glorified, that is actually our good. We get to enjoy Him. Well, that's super helpful. Thank you. I hope that's helpful for you on that question. That is always that's one of the most difficult theological questions, and one of the ones in the Bible where we have Paul telling us there is no answer, which is helpful, I think, in some ways.
Yeah.
Well, if you...
I stand with Paul.
I stand with Paul. There is no answer. Could have been a shorter video.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, well, we hope this is helpful for you. If you have any questions, you can always email us at info@faithbibleoc.org. Thanks so much.